Hare Krishna World Racer, Sabine and Roger here. Let's watch Uddhava Gita, Lord Krishna's answers to all controversial questions of the epic Mahabharata. It was a request by our one and only Taj, the king.
Oh boy, I don't know if I believe this.
What?
All controversial questions, because there was a lot. And this is only 12 minutes. We're gonna have to find out because, I'm very intrigued now.
I wonder which questions. Actually, nothing comes to mind.
There was quite a bit. Like,
Okay.
why didn't Krishna just stop the war? Stop everybody, right?
Oh.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Uddhava Gita, is that then, it came after the war and everything? Like...
Yeah, so I think this is a conversation, I believe, with Lord Krishna's charioteer, right? His chariot driver, after...
Was his name
after
Uddhava?
the war, yeah. That's why it's called the Uddhava
Absolutely,
Gita.
totally. He should be on here. Oh, no.
No, it's after the war. He wasn't in the war, I don't think. He was just Krishna's chariot driver.
Oh, God.
Right? So
no Mahabharata experts here.
So Lord
Clearly.
Lord Krishna was driving Arjuna's chariot.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
So Lord Krishna, of course,
Okay.
He's royalty. He had his
Okay.
own chariot driver.
Oh, that's why I don't remember the name Uddhava.
Yeah.
Because, okay.
Yeah,
Because
he
was
wasn't
actually...
He wasn't in the Mahabharata, I don't think.
Okay.
But,
So, please hit the like button for Lord Krishna and his timeless, amazing teachings. And subscribe if you aren't.
And let's rock and roll and dive into it. From his childhood, Uddhava had been with Krishna, charioteering him and serving him in many ways. He never asked for any wish or boon from Sri Krishna.
Oh,
Wow. Beautiful.
I wonder if he was in the Bir Chopra.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe he was the one.
When Krishna was at the verge of completing his avatar, he called Uddhava and said, "Oh boy.
Completing his avatar?
Dear Uddhava, in this avatar of mine, many people have asked and received boons from me, but you never asked me anything." Yeah, completing his avatar means when he departed this realm.
Oh.
Why don't you ask something now? I will give you. Let me complete this avatar with the satisfaction of doing something good for you also.
Aww.
Oh boy, what would you guys ask for?
Oh, wow.
Even though Uddhava did not ask anything for himself, he had been observing Krishna from his childhood.
Aww.
Trying to think of what I would ask for. He had always wondered about the apparent disconnect between Krishna's teachings and actions and wanted to understand the reasons for the same. That is good.
Teachings and actions. Oh.
Yeah, they seem a little bit contradictory. He asked Krishna, "Lord, you taught us to live in one way, but you lived in a different way."
I love it.
Yeah, teaching peace, but then ended up fighting the war. In the drama of Mahabharata, in the role you played in your actions, I did not understand many things.
Oh, wow.
I think there's some things we didn't
Thank you,
understand
Uddhava.
as well. I am curious to understand the reasons for your actions. Would you fulfill my desire to know? Krishna said, "Please ask without hesitation."
Oh, thank you, Uddhava. Beautiful question.
Yeah. That's all he wanted. That's incredible. Uddhava starts asking Krishna, "First tell me, who is real friend?" Good question. Yeah, who's a real friend? Krishna says the real friend is one who comes to the help of his friend in need, even without being called.
Oh.
Hey, that's incredible.
Yeah.
A friend in need is a friend indeed. That's a saying. Uddhava, Krishna, you were a dear friend of the Pandavas. They trusted you fully as Apadabandava, the one who protected you during harsh times. So they relied on Sri Krishna to protect them in harsh times. Krishna, you not only know what is happening, but you know what is going to happen. You are a great Jnani. Just now you gave the definition of a true close friend. Yeah, we got to help each other. Then why did you not act as per that definition? Why did you not stop Dharmaraj Yudhishthir from playing the gambling game?
Oh.
Good question. Okay, you did not do it. Why did you not turn the luck in favor of Dharmaraj, by which you would have ensured that Dharma wins? You did not do that also. Yeah, there's so many things he could have done. You could have at least saved Dharmaraj by stopping the game after he lost his wealth, country, and himself. You could have released him from the punishment for gambling.
Wow.
I love the image, yeah. He's protecting Draupadi. Or you could have entered the hall when he started betting his brothers. You did not do that either.
Excellent questions.
Oh, yeah, if he was there, it would have been a different scenario. At least when Duryodhan tempted Dharmaraj by offering to return everything lost if he betted Draupadi, who always brought good fortune to Pandavas, you could have intervened, and with your divine power you could have made the dice roll in a way that is favorable to Dharmaraj. Counteracting Shakuni's.
Oh.
Yeah. Instead, you intervened only when Draupadi almost lost her modesty, and now you claim that you gave clothes and saved Draupadi's modesty.
Well, she prayed to him, right?
She's the only one that reached out, I think. Yeah. How can you even claim this after her being dragged into the hall by a man and disrobed in front of so many people? What modesty is left for a woman? Yeah, what is the answer? What have you saved? Only when you help a person at the time of crisis can you be called Apadabandava. If you did not help in the time of crisis, what is the use? Is it Dharma? These are not the questions of Uddhav alone. All of us who have read Mahabharata have these questions. On behalf of us, Uddhav had really asked Krishna. Yeah, same like Arjun was asking his questions on behalf of everyone. Bhagavan Krishna laughed and said, Dear Uddhav, the law of this world is only the one who has viveka, intelligence through patience, wins.
Viveka, intelligence through patience.
While Duryodhan had viveka, Dharmaraj lacked it. That is why Dharmaraj lost.
So Dharmaraj lacked
He lacked
Viveka?
intelligence through patience. Uddhav was lost and confused. Krishna continues, while Duryodhan had lots of money and wealth to gamble, he did not know how to play the game of dice. That's why he had Shakuni play for him. That is why he used his uncle Shakuni to play the game while he betted. That is Viveka. So he was actually being wise in that situation. Duryodhan wanted to win, so he got his uncle to play for him. So that's wisdom. Dharmaraj also could have thought similarly and offered that I, his cousin, would play on his behalf. That's true. I thought of that.
Really?
Yeah, if Shakuni and I had played the game of dice, who do you think would have won? Yeah, so Yudhishthir should have asked Sri Krishna to play. Can he roll the numbers I am calling, or would I roll the numbers he is asking? Forget this. I can forgive the fact that he forgot to include me in the game. Yeah, because they're both related. If Duryodhan used his uncle, Yudhishthir could have used his cousin. But without Viveka, he did another blunder. He prayed that I should not come to the hall, as he did not want me to know that through ill fate he was compelled to play this game. So he was trying to hide it from
I was
Sri
wondering
Krishna.
where Krishna was.
He tied me with his prayers and did not allow me to get into the hall. I was just outside the hall waiting for someone to call me through their prayers.
You're kidding me.
Holy smokes.
Okay.
Shocker.
Okay. We have to read the Mahabharata, Roger.
Even when Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, and Sahadeva were lost, they were only cursing Duryodhan and brooding over their fate. They forgot to call me. Yeah, so they were blaming Shakuni and Duryodhan, not realizing that it was actually the blunder of Yudhishthir. Even Draupadi did not call me when Dushashan held her hair and dragged her to fulfill his brother's orders. She was also arguing in the hall based on her own abilities. She never called me. Holy smokes.
We forget about the Lord all the time.
The Lord needs to be center. Finally, good sense prevailed. When Dushashan started disrobing her, she gave up depending on her own strength and started shouting, Hari, Abhyam, Krishna, Abhyam, and shouted for me.
Oh, Abhaya.
Abhayam. Only then I got an opportunity to save her modesty. I reached as soon as I was called. I saved her modesty. What is my mistake in this situation? Right.
Lord Krishna, I love you. Oh.
Wonderful explanation, Kana. I am impressed. However, I am not deceived. Can I ask you another question? Says Uddhav. Absolutely. Ask away. Krishna gives him the permission to proceed. Does it mean that you will come only when you are called? Will you not come on your own to help people in crisis, to establish justice? Asked Uddhav. Good question.
Because that would contradict the first thing he said.
Yeah.
If a friend is in need,
you help without them being asked. Yeah. Krishna smiles. Uddhav, in this life, everyone's life proceeds based on their own karma. I don't run it. I don't interfere in it. We are responsible. I am only a witness. I stand close to you and keep observing whatever is happening. This is God's Dharma. Yeah, so the silent witness observer. So he's not an ordinary person.
yeah.
Right? Wow, very good, Krishna. In that case, you will stand close to us, observe all our evil acts. As we keep committing more and more sins, you will keep watching us.
Uddhav.
Yeah, well, we have to call. You want us to commit more blunders, accumulate sins, and suffer, says Uddhav. He doesn't want that. He's just allowing us to be free will beings. Krishna says, Uddhav, please realize the deeper meaning of your statements. When you understand and realize that I am standing as witness next to you, how could you do anything wrong or bad? Oh. Gonna have to contemplate that.
That is ultimate reality teachings.
You definitely cannot do anything bad. You forget this and think that you can do things without my knowledge. That is when you get into trouble.
You
Yeah,
forget this and think that you can do things without my knowledge.
Yeah, like Yudhishthir thinking he could hide his gambling problem. Dharmaraj's ignorance was that he thought he can play the game of gambling without my knowledge. Huh. Yep, indeed. Yeah, so... Yeah, Krishna is everywhere. He knows everything. If Dharmaraj had realized that I am always present with everyone in the form of Sakshi, witness, then wouldn't the game have finished differently? Yeah, he would have been more aware of the Lord is watching me now. Uddhav was spellbound. He said, so even praying and doing puja to God and calling him for help are nothing but our feeling belief. Yeah, so thinking that God is distant and we have to do certain actions to be close. When we start believing that nothing moves without him, how can we not feel his presence as witness? How can we forget this and act? Yeah, so this is like the higher spiritual levels of consciousness where we're more aware of this field of consciousness. Realize that ultimate witness, Sakshi, within and without, and merge into that God consciousness. Discover thy higher self beyond body and mind. Right? So the pure consciousness within, that is always present. That's the witness. That is God. That is God consciousness, Sri Krishna.
Taj, thank you for this video.
Thank you, dearest noble Taj. That was good. And yeah, so of course you knew that we had some doubts and some questions in regard to, yeah, of course, the dice game scene, the Draupadi scene. And yeah, this is what this was mostly focusing on. Yeah, because we were like, what is Yudhishthir doing? You know, like just going on and on. So forgetting that God is present everywhere and also thinking that he could hide it. So that's the shame, right? So that's a lower level of consciousness. So at the beginning of the Mahabharata, we thought that the Pandavas were, you know, free of these sorts of delusions. So then when these sorts of things began happening, we began to question, you know, how spiritually advanced they are. And of course, they're on another level, but it just shows that anybody, you know, inhabited in body, you know, you have a little bit of ego goes along with it. So, and then we're susceptible to our human nature and then the levels, right? You got the tamas, rajas, and sattvas, you know, and of course it fluctuates. And in certain areas of our lives, In this sense with the gambling, there was a bit of shame there, which is seeming like that's why he would try to hide it from God. Like, oh, I don't want Sri Krishna to know that I'm kind of addicted to gambling a little bit. So yeah, the Pandavas each had their own things that they were dealing with. Yeah, so incredible lesson to know that you can't hide anything from God. The infinite field of consciousness knows everything, records everything. Like there's a saying that every single hair on your head is counted and remembered, forever. Yeah, this is important. So whatever actions that we're committing, he's also saying that once you understand that, then there is no sin, then that you're just a free being, you're able to behave, but you're understanding that ultimately you're not the doer. There's a field of energy, a higher self, and then you kind of blend more into the witness consciousness, which is more in line with who you truly are. So we think that we're the doer, and we think that we're the thinker of the thoughts, but no, that's the ego aspect of ourselves that's behaving. And ultimately, we're beyond that. So we're more identified with the soul, which is, the fundamental root of the soul is still pure consciousness. So even Draupadi, so mentioning that she also, was being dragged, by her hair. And then she didn't call for aid at that time either. And then it wasn't until the end. So Sri Krishna says that he was right outside the door. So I wonder, maybe Dushashan dragged her through a separate entrance, because if she had crossed Sri Krishna, she probably would have asked him for help right there.
Yeah, different entrance, but Lord Krishna would have heard her screams anyways. Maybe outside the main door.
But she was still using her own strength and her own, powers of, like speaking. So trying to talk him out of it. And she was doing that. She's like, what about, the virtue of women and the nobility, and what are you doing? I'm your sister, and, on. And right. So trying to diffuse the situation with her own powers.
Instead of surrendering to God.
Yeah. And then calling on him for aid. And as soon as she did, then he intervened, right?
Yeah. So she was still coming from a place of grasping of me.
Yeah.
But if she would have surrendered, then she might have actually also done very similar things, but it would have turned out differently because she was surrendered, and the actions and whatever she said that flowed through her from that point would have been maybe...
maybe it would have been more divinely aligned and inspired.
Exactly, and then the other,
Yeah, because she also, throughout the whole scene, she was asking everybody else up on the, on the stage, like Bhishma and Drona, and of course Dhritarashtra, to put an end to it. But none of them were capable, because none of them were focused on God either, right? So until she called Sri Krishna for help, it was a downhill battle. That's the lesson, right? So the main lessons are God is always with us, always present, always witnessing all of our actions at all times, no matter what. And we need to be aware of that consciously. And when there's difficulties, we need to acknowledge that God is with us and call on him for aid. And then, boom, he will answer. Incredible. So Yudhishthir, the blunder of not understanding that God knows everything at all times. And even if, of course, I'm not saying he didn't know that. I'm pretty sure he did. But when you're just getting into those states, you forget. So I love that. So, because I brought it up during B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata when we watched it, I was like, okay, well, if Duryodhana is using Shakuni, then Yudhishthir can ask Sri Krishna, because if he's allowed to get somebody to play for him, then Yudhishthir can as well. And he didn't do that. All right, thank you so much. Taj. What can we say about you? Thank you so much for your ongoing support. You are one of our heroes, just your knowledge and wisdom and knowing that God is always with us. You never forget that, and you are quick to remind us when we lowly beings forget. So we thank you for your ongoing and continuous support on this journey of raising the world together. It is so incredibly profound, and we are so grateful to have you as our world avatar.
Please don't complete your avatar incarnation anytime soon.
not
We
yet.
need you.
The world needs you.
The world needs you.
Yeah.